We're back in Gabriella's kitchen. Today I've got another great, quick and easy recipe for you. I'm going to show you how to make a Nutella crumble cake. I love this recipe, it only takes a few ingredients. It's a great one to throw together if you want a quick dessert after a nice family meal. Let's get started. So for this recipe, all you're going to need is some cold butter, eggs, some caster sugar, some flour, a little bit of baking powder, and a whole lot of Nutella. First things first, get your oven on 180 degrees. If it's fan assisted, 180. If it's not, you want to go a little bit higher, maybe 190. You're going to get your tin prepared. So I've got a removable bottom one. Springform tin will work fine as well. I've just put some butter around the edges and a nice sheet of grease proof. It's just really important you've got something you can pop the cake out of once it's ready. So get that done, oven on, put that aside, and we'll get ready with our ingredients. So, into our bowl, we're going to go in with our plain flour, pinch of salt and some baking powder. We're going to sieve it, and like everything, we sieve it to incorporate air, especially with bacon, and also just to check there's no lumps, especially when we've all been baking this much. We've had sticky fingers in and out of the flour packets. So now we're going to add our caster sugar straight in. Now we're going to get our hands dirty. So to that, I'm going to add my butter, and this has come from the fridge, it's nice and cold. And I put it into little cubes so it's easy for me to work into the flour mixture. So what we're going to do now is going to make sure everything's nicely coated, and then we're going to start working the butter into the flour. So we're going to use the rubbing method, and the rubbing method basically is it's our fingers and our thumbs. We pick up little clumps of butter and we rub it through the butter. It's really important that we don't get our whole hands in and start using our palms, because by doing that we're going to create heat, we're going to generate body heat, and that's going to melt the butter and end up becoming really doughy and claggy, and that's what makes it go more cakey rather than flaky. Good little tip there, guys. So what we're looking for is a nice fine breadcrumb consistency. All the butter's been worked into the flour. I've got a lovely smooth fine crumb. So now we're going to add our eggs. I'm just going to crack them straight into the mixture and work them in with our hands. What we're going to do now is we're going to look for it to come together into small little lumps. We don't want it to form one dough, so just using our hands again and let it fall through our fingers, moving it around and using your fingertips when needed just to sort of grab little clumps together. Starting to come together now. I'm getting my hands and I'm starting to squeeze little lumps of it, and we're looking to get nice little nuggets of dough. Just using your hands, squeeze it together, and you want to get nice little clumps, and this is what's going to make a really nice crunchy crumb on top of the cake. So once you're starting to get little chunks like this, stop. We don't want to form one big ball of clumpy dough, we just want small little chunks. So I'm happy with that, I'm going to stop there. So now we're going to take half of our mixture. You don't have to be precious about getting this weighed out perfectly, just eyeball it. So taking half, leave the other half aside, and what we're going to do now is just flatten this out and just work it into the base. Don't worry about this being super smooth and even. We can just press it with our hands and work it up the sides as well so we get a nice crust. Now we're going to add our Nutella. For this recipe, you can actually use jam, you can use marmalade. If you've got some custard, you can put that in. Some fresh fruit, some sliced apple. Nutella is a classic though. So we're going to go in with a good few tablespoons. I'm going to make sure that I don't take it right to the edge and leave a small border. So with the back of my spoon, I'm just going to spread the Nutella out. And you can be as generous as you like here, but just remember we've still got half the crumble to go on top, so don't get too carried away. So you can see that my ratio of Nutella is quite thick. If you don't put enough, you're going to end up with just having a crumble cake and not any filling. So do be generous, and you can just see I've left this border all around the edge, keeping the sides of my tin free. So with the rest of our crumble, what we're going to do is we're just going to scatter it over the top. And again, keep this in nice chunky clumps. We don't want it to be too fine. But you still want to keep some of the Nutella peeking through so we can see that bubbling once it's been cooked. that's ready to go into our oven now for about 35 minutes. We want to see the top of it get nice and golden and the Nutella to start bubbling. So it's just come out of the oven, it's been 35 minutes and you can see it's a lovely even golden colour. I can just see little speckles of Nutella peeking through. I'm going to let that cool down completely before I turn it out. We're ready to slice it. There you have it, guys. Homemade Nutella crumble cake. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it.